Okay, this is another video from Math 8. This is Chapter 7, Section 5, Equations with Variables on Both Sides. This is the last section we'll be teaching and learning for this material. I'm just going to break this down real simple. Equations are all about inverse operations and gathering constants and variables on one side. For x plus 2 equals 5, and this is real basic, but this is true, the idea is that we're going to subtract 2 from both sides, because what we're doing is we're grouping like terms. 5 and 2 are constants, so that leaves us with x is 3. Well, here's an example of variables on both sides. And this is a relatively easy one. This is 2y is equal to y minus 8. Now the idea here is very similar to this, that we want to group the like terms together. But remember, we have to use an inverse operation. This is a positive y. This is a negative 8. So the inverse of y is negative y. So y minus itself, minus 8. 2y minus 1y is just y. 1y minus 1y is 0, leaving us with negative 8. And that's it. That's how you would do it. Of course, the examples we're going to give you are a little bit more challenging than this, but don't forget the basics, and that's what this one is. This is very basic, and this is what it's all about. 4c plus 3 is equal to 15 minus 2c. Ultimately, it doesn't matter which side you put the variables on, which side you put the constants on. But I do tend to have an unwritten rule that if we can, we should try to create a positive coefficient for our variable. In that case, I see 4c, which is positive, and I see negative 2c, which is obviously negative. By moving one of these to the other side, I either create a negative coefficient or a positive coefficient. Now if I subtract 4c from here, that gives me 0. And if I subtract 4c from negative 2c, that gives me a negative 6c. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2c to both sides. Like I said, I'm going to add 2c. Four c plus 2c is 6c, and that's equal to 15 because these two are opposites and they equal 0. I'm still not done because now I need to group this constant with this constant. So the inverse of 3 is negative 3. And so now that 6c is 12. This is where it tends to get a real basic because 6c is multiplication, so what we're going to do is we're going to divide by 6. And we're going to divide both sides by 6. And c is 2. Let's try another one like that. Or try another one in any capacity. 2q minus 4 is equal to 5 plus 5q. Now I'm going to go ahead and break my rule because I think it's important that you see that you're going to deal with just about everything at any given time. I'm going to subtract this 5q from both sides. So I'm subtracting 5q from both sides. I have had teachers tell me that they generally ask their kids to put all the variables on the left side and then the constants on the right. There's nothing wrong with that approach. I mean, it's simple, and I agree that sometimes simplicity is best. But some kids don't do well with negative coefficients. Well, that's where we have to just get past that hurdle. 2q minus 5q is negative 3q minus 4, and that is equal to, and remember, these two are opposites, so they equal 0, and that leaves us with just 5. Now what we need to do is remove this negative 4. So the inverse of negative 4 is positive 4. And we're going to do that again to both sides. So now we have 3q is equal to 9. And I think the answer is starting to jump out at you. Let's divide both sides by the coefficient. And the answer is q is 3. Last one. 7 times the quantity v minus 4 is equal to 3 times the quantity 3 plus v minus 1. So we're going to obviously distribute. That's just sort of jumping out. So this is going to be 7 times v, 7v. 7 times negative 4, negative 28. On the other side, same thing. 3 times 3 is 9. And then 3 times v is 3v. Please don't forget the minus 1. Speaking of which, let's combine some like terms. Let's combine this 9 and this negative 1. So 9 minus 1, I can hear you all yelling it through the internet. That's right, it's 8. By the way, 8 is positive and so is 3v, so I'm going to put 3v in the front. I'm going to put that positive 8 in the back. Now it's up to us to decide, well, which way do we want to move things? Well, again, I'm into having positive coefficients, so I'm going to subtract 3v from both sides. So 7v's minus 3v's leaves us with 4v's minus 28, and that's equal to 8. Now I'm going to add 28 to both sides, so 4v minus 28 plus 28, and that's equal to 8 plus 28. Four v is equal to 36, and then we get to divide by 4. V is 9. I know I might have went quick, so again, like usual, feel free to pause, play back, even watch it a second or even a third time. Best of luck to everybody. Bye.